Hey, how's it going, guys? It's Shut Door or Door Shutter coming back to you with a brand new episode of Direwolf20's 1.18 mod pack, and today is episode 53, and we're getting right into this. So, I have made some thermal evaporation chambers, and I've also missed a few solar panels. Let's add those real quick. We are actually going to make lithium. And how you make lithium is using this brine. Brine is a key component in this whole equation. So, I've actually figured out something by doing a little bit of testing with an entangled block. Okay? So I have the dynamic valve, and you guys can actually see when I'm holding this that it's connected to that block up there. So let's place this down. And what you can do is you can actually straight pipe out of this entangled block because it is basically the valve that inputs and outputs fluid. Okay? And you can see that we made liquid lithium. Okay? Liquid lithium is useful in several different ways. And I think we've used this in the past, but we are going to be using this to actually make lithium dust. And of course, this is filled up. And now what we can do is actually get a fluid pipe here, and we're going to pipe this into an ender tank, which I have 10 of. I don't know why I have 10 of them, but we have 10 of them. All right, then we'll do this. So now we'll get liquid lithium in there. And do we need to actually convert this liquid lithium? Let's check. I need to make sure. So liquid lithium. Do we need to convert this into lithium to make lithium dust? Yes, okay. That's what I just wanted to check real quick. And I think what we could do is we could put like a dynamic valve or a dynamic tank here just to start filling it with lithium. Let's actually do that here. So what we need is actual at mech dynamic tank. I don't think we'll make it too big, but let's actually just craft a little bit more dynamic tank blocks just in case. And then of course we'll need structural glass, and we'll definitely need more of this. All right, let's actually add 2 valves. So mechanism dynamic. Alrighty, so let's just grab 1, and I'm pretty sure they're come in sets of 2, so we'll just get over it. We'll put 1 here, and then we'll do ender tank. Just like that. Alrighty. So this should start filling up with liquid lithium. And of course, we'll want to export this liquid lithium into the proper machines to actually get this converted to lithium, into then lithium dust. But I want to actually look at something real quick here. And you can actually see that we already have like 1 million liquid lithium. And this thing actually should start draining pretty decent amount. Not too much. I mean, we have an entire reserve. But once this fills up, we really won't use it until later, right? So 75 million, that's basically a drop in the bucket for this. So what I am actually kind of building up towards is fissile fuel. Fissile fuel is actually a main component of the fission reactor. You need this to run the fission reactor. If we actually look at this, here's the fission reactor and all of the recipes for the fission reactor. These recipes basically say, hey, you need fissile fuel, some sort of water, or sodium and some sort in the fissile fuel, right? So fissile fuel, sodium, fissile fuel, water. And these both actually look like they do the exact same thing. They just have different outputs. One produces steam, one produces nuclear waste. The other one produces superheated sodium and nuclear waste. Superheated sodium actually can be brought down into steam and sodium. So you actually could rehash this if you really wanted to in the thermoelectric boiler. So it's an option, right? And you still will end up with steam at the end of the day, just not as much as you would any other way, right? So, I mean, it's an option. We have access to sodium. It is just salt. I believe there is actually a way to make sodium. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, just the flowing brine. And we have access to that. It's being made constantly because we need the actual ore doubling. So I think if we look up here, it's this thing. Yeah, here's our sodium. So, I mean, we have access to sodium. We could do a fission reactor with sodium. Not a bad idea. We still could get steam. It's not going to be as much steam, I believe. Let's look. So, superheated. This is 10 millibuckets and 1 millibucket of water. And you get how much per fission? 200,000. So, I mean, that is 10. I mean, you'd get a decent amount of steam. You wouldn't get as much as the other one, but you do actually end up with sodium that you can, throw back into the reactor. So, I mean, kind of a trade-off. Like, I don't know. It's interesting. You could use this steam to actually make a turbine with Mekansim, you know. But anyway, fissile fuel is produced through uranium hexafluoride. Uranium hexafluoride is made with hydrofluoric acid and uranium oxide. Uranium oxide is made with yellow cake uranium inside of a chemical oxidizer, which is uranium ingots inside of an enrichment chamber or enrichment factory. And then you get to hydrofluoric acid, which is sulfuric acid, and fluorite blocks or fluorite itself. And that is just fissile fuel, right? That is just this. Okay. You then need to make sure that you actually have all the machines and everything, because there is, also nuclear waste, which can be made into plutonium or polonium, either or. They both do different things. They both are, different outcomes. But each way, you will get spent nuclear waste. Spent nuclear waste is actually unusable. It's done. You have to throw it into a waste barrel and wait for it to decay over a certain amount of time. Polonium pellets make SPS casings, and they also can be turned into reprocessed fissile fragments. And this stuff is making antimatter, I believe. So that is a whole thing. If you wanted to make antimatter, that's kind of the way you want to go. And then there's also polonium, which is this one, which you'll get polonium pellets, which polonium pellets actually can be used to make the other part of the antimatter, which is supercharged coil. You can make some upgrades for the suits. You can make a QIO drive if you really wanted to with this. More SPS casing stuff. You can actually start making the mecha suit. More upgrades. The mecha tool. So a whole bunch of goodies, right? The QIO exporter, the portable QIO dashboard. I actually kind of want to look at this portable QIO dashboard stuff. I've never messed with Mekansim's storage system. I've never really had time to look at it, and it's also really late game. And by the point you're here, you have refined storage or applied energistics. You also can make the modification table, the QIO dashboard, the actual fusion reactor frames, which you'll need to make the fusion reactor, and a whole bunch of other goodies, right? And of course, you have to remember you actually need to make all of this fission reactor casing. And yeah, also real quick before I forget to mention, the reprocessed fissile fragments can come from the plutonium pellets. So it's kind of, if you want to redo this over and over again, not a bad idea. You get 2,000 per. So, I mean, there's trade-offs to plutonium, and there's trade-offs to polonium. Polonium will never give you any more fuel back. It's all just gone after that point. Polonium can do a return investment. So, just tons and tons of things to think about with this fission and fusion reactor. Alrighty. So, real quick, before I do forget, I was actually messing around with big reactors, or extreme reactors, not big reactors, extreme reactors. And I was actually looking at different methods to put fuel rods in this system. Because somebody suggested that this is a more efficient pattern than this, which in the case of a small reactor is true, but in this case, it's not true. I couldn't find a configuration with a big reactor that actually was more effective than this checkerboard type thing. But with the smaller ones, it is definitely a return investment type of thing. It is a lot better. So I've actually also, you can see that I put Enderium in one of these and Netherite because I was actually testing the values. And if I flip this lever here, there is actually no real trade-off. Enderium is basically Netherite. Netherite's a little bit easier to get, in all honesty, for me at least. So, but you can actually see here, this is actually starting to balance out. And this is with 9 fuel rods. If you actually take out the center one, you'll actually use just under 1 millibucket. Yeah, is it millibucket? Yeah, 1 millibucket per tick. You'll use about 0.9. You can see that actually the casing heat and core heat are about balanced, right? They are staying under the max load, which is actually really cool. And if you fly down here, of course, these are still the exact same. Ow, it scared me, honestly. Anyway, this is, producing 54,000, and this one is producing 54,000. It's kind of just interesting to see that these two materials basically the same. There's no difference. And so, just kind of testing, messing around with this. And I'll just kind of give you guys some more information. If you actually built 3 or 4 of these, you would have an equivalent to this because this is 100,000, right? This one is 200,000. So if you built 4 of these, which I don't know if is actually a good idea because you're using 9, 18 times 2, and then however many this is interior and all of that jazz. But yeah, I was just experimenting. There's always, quite a few things to look at with extreme reactors, but I think, all right, so I'm currently over in a new location here in the overworld. We are way away from the house, probably about a good 500 blocks. So not 200, not too much, but I've been looking at what we actually need to do to get the fissile fuel, the fission reactor fuel. So first things first, we're going to get an enrichment chamber. The enrichment chamber is kind of the base of the yellow cake uranium, and that will lead into the uranium oxide, and then we'll need to get the fluorite, which then leads into the hydrofluoric acid, and then the chemical infuser, which I believe this actually uses a chemical dissolution chamber, which I didn't mark. So let's actually grab that real quick, which we should have enough. We're just going to grab 2 of them. And, so the fluorite and then the hydrofluoric acid and the uranium oxide make uranium hexafluoride, and the chemical infuser, and then the uranium hexafluoride is put into the isotopic centrifuge, which then makes fissile fuel. Okay? So let's actually grab a flux point, because we actually will need power. We might need to grab more than one of these. So let's actually go for a few more of these things. Let's just go for 3. Let's grab some cables. We'll probably need some gas pipes and stuff as well. But for now, I'm going to get this network receiver set up. We're just going to set this up right here. I'm going to click on the card. I'm going to set this up real quick, and I'll be right back. Alrighty, so I just got that set up. I've also thrown in a few patterns, interfaces and stuff like that. So let's actually grab an interface. Right? Okay. So we'll put the interface, I believe, like right about here. So here, we'll put the flux point here. And let's start with the enrichment chambers. Okay, so the way I want to do this is, I think on top. I think that'll work. And I'm not really worried about entangled blocks being used here. We're not making this look too nice, but we'll make it look somewhat decent. So let's place that there and come down here, and let's just throw this here. All right. So that's powered. Everything should be good. And now we want to set this up. So we might actually need to push this back one, just so we can actually pipe out of it and all that. So uranium, right? Uranium, we'll want a stack of this, and we'll probably want a stack upgrade. I think I can put a stack upgrade in here. Speed upgrade, stack speed, and then we'll need some cable. All right. And then, of course, we actually want to grab a detector just in case. All right, so let's go detector, cable, uranium. We want to keep, let's say, a good 5,000 in the system. So emit when above, that's fine. And then we can just say only work with redstone signal. That's perfect. Alrighty. And let's grab some fluid pipes. No, just pipes. Pipes. And of course, let's just grab 10 of these. Might as well. Alright, and then of course, let's put the what is it called? Crescent hammer in my inventory so I can actually activate this pipe. Right? So these should both be getting that. We'll just split. Upgrades, mech upgrades. And of course, we can actually just, you know, toss these in here like so. Oh, and we also should throw this in here, round robin. All right. So this got speed, speed and energy. All right. So what's next? So now we have the yellow cake uranium. We can actually get rid of this, and we need to make uranium oxide, which is a chemical oxidizer. So we have 2 chemical oxidizers. I've kind of just doubled the system. I ain't going like triple or quadruple. Not right now, at least. All right. And let's grab a pipe or a universal cable here. Let's grab an entangled block, because we're just going to keep powering them this way. Might as well. All right. And what we'll want to do is we'll say clear, eject, input on the right, output on the side. All right, and that's kind of what we want to configure the top for as well. So we'll just do this and this. And this will start making uranium oxide. All right, and of course we'll want to grab 2 sets of these again. Boom, 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 and boom. All right, so there's our uranium oxide, and we may want to triple this or like quadruple this. I'm not 100% sure yet, but we will see in a second. Okay, so that is taken care of. Let's go for the fluorite hydrofluoric acid. And actually, we need an entangloper. Tangle porter thing. This thing. Let me start this here. And we'll need sulfuric acid. That's why we need this, by the way. So chemical dissolution chamber. And we'll put that. So this is only one machine, right? So let's actually put that here. And of course, we'll just do a flux point. Might as well. I believe it's right here. Nope. Right here. We'll turn this on to power. We'll do entangled block. Do this. Do that. And we'll just cover this up here. So now what we should have is sulfuric acid being needed, which we'll just do this. We'll then grab a tube. Actually, we can just grab a good gas pipe here. and we'll type in sulf set gases clear up top input, output. There we go. And gas pipe. And then we'll do this, and we'll say gases input there, and then items input in the back as well. And then of course we'll want to output on the side and output on the side. Of course we could just like configure gadget this or configure card this. And we need fluorite. Okay, so fluorite, we'll do the exact same type of thing we have here. Interface. We'll just do this. I think, well, actually, let's just move these up one then. That's fine. Kind of want to have it the same way, you know? All right, so that. Alrighty. Make it just look a little bit nicer, right? So we'll do that. We'll grab the second detector, and we'll do this. We'll need to grab some fluorite blocks, which I believe I actually do have. Yep. So fluorite blocks. I will say we want to keep 3,000 in the system. Above, make sure that this is there. Fluorite block, and of course we'll toggle this to 64. We'll do item pipes. Crescent hammer. Ultimate pipe upgrade. We'll need to put the gas upgrade back on here. Okay, so hydrofluoric acid, and we have the chemical oxidizer. So now what we should be able to do is take our chemical infuser and make the good stuff, right? So we'll put this here. And I ain't really too worried about space, right? We're kind of a distance away anyway. So we'll do this and this. And we'll actually do gas output to the right. We'll just copy that there. So we got hydrofluoric acid. And then, so let's clear gases. So this one will be input. This one will be input. And then to the right will be output, I believe. Configure card. Everything should be good. Of course, we still need to put mechanism upgrades in these. Upgrade. And actually, for another measure, let's take ultimate chemical tanks. Right? And we'll just do this. We'll do clear input, output. Clear input, output. Just so we have kind of a buffer point. Might as well, right? Better safe than sorry. In case this gets full, we'll have, you know, that reserve amount of chemicals. And of course, we'll do the exact same thing here. And we're actually going to clear gases. Oop. So we'll just bring this up here. And we will do clear items. Actually, no, not items. We want input on items. So input left, gases, output, front. I believe that's right. All right. So we're going to do clear, back as input, And then here, clear, back is input, output is front. Right? And then, of course, we'll do this. We might as well keep that. And we also could probably turn on round robin if it's not already on. There we go. All right. So now what we should be able to make, once we get the flux point down, and of course our entangled block. I like entangled block so much. It's such a fun thing. All right, and we can do this and this. We now have power there. And then, of course, we'll need to grab some speed upgrades. So there we go. And then energy upgrades. I don't believe these things take gas upgrades. I don't believe any of these do. But this one does. So we'll actually take some gas upgrades, throw those in there. I don't know if these do. These definitely don't. Okay. So we're making, we're going, we're cruising. And see how quickly that's dropping and able to make more. I'm loving that. This is going slowly because we don't have all the upgrades, I don't think, in it. Yeah, we don't have speed either, so let's make some speed upgrades. I always like having those on reserve anyway. Okay, so there we go. So we got uranium hexafluoride, and of course we'll grab more chemical tanks, and we'll do exactly what we had earlier. Let's clear this real quick. Input on the left. Input on the left, and we'll actually do output on the back. Right? And we can actually grab this bad boy. And I don't know if this is actually interacting with both of them. I highly doubt it. So here, hold on. Alright, I'm gonna have to mute this thing. Mech. Just muffle it. I don't even care. Alright. Gas pipe. Gas pipe. We'll take this off there. Do output on the left. Or on the right, I mean. Do this. Do this. Here and here. And of course, we'll need to grab some sort of pipes. Which I don't really want to make another flux point, but I guess we will. Just for sake of cleanness. Alright, then what upgrades can this take? So just speed and efficiency. And we might double this, honestly. But yeah, so there's fissile fuel. That is the creation of fissile fuel. Let's see, how are we cruising on everything? So we're currently out of uranium hexafluoride. Okay, why are you not pushing? Okay, because you aren't accepting input. You are. You weren't. Okay. So I think what we'll need to do is actually grab a few more chemical oxidizers. Which is these two things. So let's grab a couple more of these real quick. So there we go. And let's actually just place them on top. If I can. Alright. And we'll actually tower up more here. We'll do the exact same thing with these chemical tanks, because I actually made quite a bit more than I needed. Intentionally, really. And then, of course, we'll card these. We'll card this. And not 100% sure if this is going to work. But let's give it a shot. You never know until you try it. And no, it does not work. Okay. It's worth a shot. It really is. Alright. So now let's try another thing, which is item pipes. So we'll say also output the back. Also output the back. We'll do this, this, this. We might as well just throw these back here, honestly. All right. So there's that. That. Let's grab a pipe upgrade. Okay. And then, of course, we'll need power, which I will do. I don't want to do it there. So I think what I can do, just grab a cable. Put that one there. That one there, that one there. Grab a piece of dirt to cover this back up. And those all should be powered. All right, so let's grab some Mac upgrades. There we go. And there we go. Everything should be hopefully working a little bit faster now. Hopefully. Keyword, hopefully. All right. So it looks like we are still kind of lacking. But we are producing quite a bit of this stuff. So maybe we like double this, maybe put 8. That might be overkill, but I think I might do that. I'll do that off camera. So, thank you guys so much for watching this episode. Hopefully, we'll get into the fission reactor next episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay awesome. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.